JAYMOORE, the very best reviews. Tell them none can contest, we don't.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the show. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Got a couple things to talk about today, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about the finale for the BMF documentary, which was very good. All of the documentary was good. And like I said, my only problem was that it was 30 minutes, which means that it was good. I still wanted to watch more. And other than that, I like the documentary. I'm a big fan of docs. And if you know me, I'm like a good doc. I've actually watched about 3 or 4 good docs lately. The Spectre, about Phil Spector. That was a 4-part doc on Showtime. The Richard Branson doc. That's on HBO right now, episode 2. They also have a doc about this cult in Mexico, La Luz de la Lorna, or Mundo, La Luz de la Mundo, or something, on HBO. It's a lot of good docs out right now. Another doc about these group of yuppie people that went to Acapulco, and they was trying to be anarchists, and things didn't go right. It's called Anarchapulco. That was a good doc as well. So it seemed like it's a lot of docs being released right now because there wasn't a lot of regular TV programming released right now in December. But they got a boatload waiting for January on a lot of networks. So we'll get to that. So, anyway, that finale for BMF was good. And I'm going to talk about that. And then also on HBO, season 2 of The White Lotus premiered. And damn, did it go out with a bang. And I do mean bang, bang. I just wish it ended just a little differently. Tanya. Damn, Tanya. Anyway, we gonna get to that too. Before I break it down, what up, D-Weave? Got a lot of support from the fam in the building. D-Weave, Samara, what's good? Ill Woods in the building, what's up, what's up? Savannah Rivers, what's up? How you doing? The Jayettes. Juan Marley, what's good? Juan Blaze, what's up? Damian Kenny, what's good, man? How you feeling? The Jayettes. That's a new one. Getting creative over there. On that one, I gotta get a sip of little naughty water. A little gin. Have a little gin and juice. Alright. Sam the Seed said The White Lotus is a little too funny style for me. Can't watch it. What you mean funny style? I don't know what you mean funny style, but it's kind of a thriller. You kind of wonder what's going on, who are these people, and things like that. So maybe that's what you mean. You kind of wondering what some people may be up to in the show. Maybe. Savannah, appreciate the super chat. I haven't had a super chat in a long time, so I definitely appreciate, helping to keep the lights on. And, much love and support to you as well. Appreciate you coming through, spreading love, definitely. So let's go ahead and get into BMF. Now, Damian Kenny say Rojas got an English cousin. Worldwide. Rojas is everywhere. Say looking slender. Who, me? I don't know. But I like that. I don't know why. I might be looking slender, but I'm not. It's an illusion. Anyway, in this episode, it's called Legacy, and they pretty much address the legacy of BMF, what they were about, talks about their downfall, and it does raise the question, and I want y'all to let me know in the comments as well as on the replay, who do you think is more at fault, Meech or Terry? If you think it's Meech, put a 1M, and if you think it's Terry, put a 1T. So they both ones. But the cops were basically saying how they were able to build the case because they caught Terry on the phone, caught, documents and things. And then one thing that I was surprised is that when they had Meech on the phone interview, he didn't really point the blame all the way at Terry, but he kind of did when he said, look, I ain't never wrote nothing down. I never used the phone. They ain't catch me on none of that. So, at the end of the day, all they caught me doing was spending money. And that's the same thing the cops were saying at first, is that they couldn't really catch Meech on anything other than spending money. But Meech didn't understand that he would say balling ain't a crime, spending money ain't a crime, and that is true. But if the money, the proceeds come from illegal activities, that's where the problem would come in. And I guess he didn't get that part. You don't spend that kind of money when you have gotten it from illegal activities, allegedly. So they were talking about they were going to get him on tax evasion, because it said he ain't filed taxes in like 10 years. So you see him spending money. They got a whole bunch of money buying all this stuff. Where's the money coming from? Blue Da Vinci. Man, that dude ain't even went styrofoam, let alone gold or platinum. This dude going paper. So Meech should have did something different. He was saying in the episode, in one clip, that other record labels, this is when he was talking as in an interview as Meech, the record label owner, and he was promoting Blue Da Vinci. And he like, other record label, you know what I'm saying? That ain't how he talk, but it's funny. But he was like, other record labels, they have multiple artists, and they can't really focus on one artist and grow that artist the way they supposed to, because they split in time and stuff between multiple artists. And that may be true, but it's a reason why. And he said, we gonna be different because we gonna focus everything on one artist and make him blow. Well, it's a reason why no record label does that, including even Master P or others. And that's because in the record label, it's a gamble. You can, in the world of art, it's a gamble. You could think you the funniest or the smartest or got the best songs or books or whatever, but it's always up to the public. And so when you in the music business, you have to, if you're spending money to get studio time, to get albums done and things like that, videos, you want to split your losses possibly, because if you put all your eggs in one basket, if that basket fail, ain't no omelets tonight, baby. No French toast. So you split it up. Make sure you got something to eat. May not be an omelet. You may just have, 2 eggs scrambled with cheese. But, hey, it's better than nothing. And so, by them doing that, the problem is, if he would have had maybe 10 artists on that label, and they was all doing that, they could be like, they all rappers. They all artists. They all this and that. It could have made it look different. oh man, a bunch of them, the cops would have been like, a bunch of them are rappers or whatever. But you got one rapper, but you got 50 dudes pulling up in the Lambo for one rapper. So that was just a little too much in your face. He should have spread it out. Hell, Master P, he made everybody who he have, Silk the Shocker, Mia X, Mr. Serve, everybody he could think of, he gave a damn record deal. That's what Meech should have been doing. Master P, Silk the Shocker couldn't even rap on beat. So, anyway, there's still some people that love Silk the Shocker too. So, anyway, that was a bad look. Cops were pissed. Things wasn't looking good for them. When the cops started closing in on them, one of the differences, and even the cops in the doc had admitted that they hit them with the CCE charge instead of the racketeering. And they was like, the racketeering charge is what all the mobsters were getting, John Gotti's and them in the world, which would have carried like a maximum of 20 years. And so once they busted Meech and Terry, they were looking at possible life because they had it that they were going to hit them with the CCE, which is a continuing criminal enterprise, I believe. And so with that difference in charge, it's like if you move in 5 kilos or something like that or more. I forgot the exact number, but you move in X amount of kilos. I think it's 5 people or more work under you, then they can hit you with that. The problem is with that, you can get up to a life sentence. So Meech was at first ready to go to trial. So was Terry. But then Meech realized, because the cops started locking up family members, locked up his daddy, his sister, all these people. So he like, look, we gonna go and cop out. I ain't gonna have them go to jail for all this stuff that we did. And so they end up meeting, having a big argument in a little private meeting at court. Even people can hear the argument, they said, outside the courtroom. But nevertheless, they decide to cop a plea and get 30 years versus going to trial and possibly getting life. So Meech's lawyer was like, hey, we was ready. They ain't had nothing on him other than spending money. But they did have these IRS agents that came through and they tracked and traced all the money. And I don't know, you can't have a certain amount of income and don't report it. So, I don't know. K Leezy coming through with the super chat. I forgot I have gotten one from K Leezy and from my girl Barika lately. So I appreciate it. Savannah for coming through. K Leezy spreading love. Appreciate you, girl. If it wasn't for y'all sisters holding me down, no telling, man. I might be in the dark over here. Savannah, you say, I'm sure in hindsight they both thought about these things in the joint. Oh, shoot. I'm sure, heck yeah. I'm sure he's still thinking about that right now. Because they let Terry out of prison and go home on house arrest in 2020. So Terry been out almost 2 years. And one thing about Terry, he, just like they said in the documentary, quiet, businessman, calculated. Terry did not participate in this documentary, not one bit. Meech on the phone from prison trying to be a part of every episode. Meech still enjoys the fame and notoriety that he had from that time, which is one of the things that was said when he was trying to get released, compassion release, like Terry, is they said that he's still influential, still enjoys that notoriety and fame from when he was living that life. Okay, Lisa, you say to me, Meech just wanted the glitz of the music mogul role, but not understand the know-how. Yeah? I mean, he made a good point that everybody that's rich or whatever want to be the Tony Montana. They want to be like Tony Montana. They just don't want his problems. It's the same thing. Rappers want to be athletes. Athletes want to be rappers. But don't work that way all the time. All right. You say Black Pride. Crazy thing is Terry is a suspect for the murder of JMJ now. I hope he don't end up back in prison. Wow. So Black Pride, I don't know about those details, to be honest with you. But if what you're saying is true and he is possibly involved in that, allegedly, that would definitely be unfortunate for him. And of course, whoever's dead. But it would be unfortunate for him in the sense that he wasn't able to get away from the troubles of his past, so to speak. So I don't know. You know, like I say, I don't know about that. But damn, it's always something, man. And that's the one thing in life that I tell people that's a guarantee, is that you will face adversity. Now, some people bring more adversity on themselves based on the decisions they make in life, whatever those decisions may be. But the one thing in life that we all go through is we gonna go through something. It ain't nobody who had the great, perfect life, as much as it may seem with the pictures on Instagram or cars or money. They got stuff. So, we'll see. Okay, Leezy, you said they also had Doc Marshall, Jay. He could have done Meech with the Testify. So, the Doc Marshall thing is how they were going to get Meech on the money laundering part, because he would testify about all of the things that were going on with the money, with the cars, and because a person was killed in his home, he killed the person that was trying to like do a home invasion or something. The police kind of always pressured him and had something on him, and so he eventually did cooperate. Now, in the doc, Meech's lawyer was saying they were ready. Hey, I was dressed for the prom and I didn't get to dance. Because he was mad that they copped the plea. He was ready to go to trial. Now, Meech told Terry, you know, hey, if I was you, I'd take the plea because I'm going to take it. And they ain't got as much on you. So, if I was you, I damn sure would take it. So, you know, they had the biggest pressure point on them by locking up family members. They said that the White House was in his daddy name. They didn't want to have them go to jail and all that for them. I mean, it showed that they really did have a heart to a certain degree, at least, because he didn't want his daddy and family members to go to jail for their whatever they were doing. So, you know. Black Pride, you say this murder was 20 plus years ago and they saying he allegedly paid to get him killed. Okay. Man, one thing about this documentary that is consistent is that even the cops say that it was very unique and rare that they were able to consolidate across the nation with so many different people without killing, which I still find hard to believe, to be honest with you. It's just very hard to believe. I don't know, maybe because I'm from Chicago and I just have never seen or heard of, a massive drug dealer unity type thing and no killing and shooting. So, I don't know. I guess so. But when I hear about this person that was killed or whatever the case, that sounds more like the drug game that I have heard of in life. The drug game is a dangerous game, not easy, a lot of stuff to worry about, a lot of stress. It's one of the hardest things a person can do and go through. Yeah, it's a lot of risk and it's a lot of rewards potentially, but do you want to go through the risk of even death, jail, and so many other things, becoming a murderer? I mean, so it's a lot. So, for them to basically tell this story and there's no murderers and no stuff like that around, it's kind of interesting to me. Because one thing that is consistent, I think they only had, talked about in this documentary in 8 episodes about 2 people that were killed. So, even when I watch stuff about drugs in New York or Baltimore or other places, people be getting laid out. People be getting killed. So, I don't know. Maybe they don't want to bring certain things up that could possibly be incriminating. As, Black Pride say, this could possibly, stuff from 20 years ago could possibly start coming up. You start talking about it and putting it in the TV show. So, I don't know. K. Leezy, you say, Jay, I don't believe that nonviolence part. They have kept their hands clean, but goons got roles to play. I know too much to believe that hype. Hey, I feel you, man. That's a good one that's a good story to tell, that he was able to unify some of the toughest and most difficult people in one of the toughest and most difficult professions a person can do in a non-violent way. That's amazing. So, I guess, I wasn't there. There was one dude with K. Leezy talking about goons. It was a guy called White Boy. They were very creative with his name. I mean, who could have thought of that? But White Boy, he was a goon, and he was also talking about why he had loyalty to Meech, because his brother had, I believe, cerebral palsy, and they treated him like one of the fam, party, did everything they did. But they showed a picture of White Boy when he was younger holding like an AK and other stuff. And he was like, what'd he say? I'm a firecracker because I get it popping. So White Boy wasn't called that and around that for nothing. So, they got goons and shooters. I mean, they talk about Wolf getting killed, Puffy's bodyguard and everything. But I'm sure it's a lot of things that have happened that allegedly may have happened Let me clear that up. I'm sure it's allegedly a lot of incidents that allegedly may have something to do with members of this group. I mean, it was just so many people. It's hard to keep track of a lot of people and what they may or may not do. And they all living their lives. Who knows what may or may not have happened. So I'm just saying. Black Pride, you say, yeah, I don't believe it. You don't bring in $300 million from drug game and moving in 10 to 20 major cities dealing with cartels and no murders. Hell no. That's what I'm saying. That's a major feat. That's like Star Wars. That's like fantasy. Fantastical. No murders. Come on. It's just such an alpha male driven business as well. This ain't the TV show where you got people like Rock. That would be nearly unheard of, especially then. So it's an alpha male. Yeah, you may be getting money, but I don't want to take orders from you type thing. And so sometimes that could be the problem. And then all the stuff may make sense, but they don't like an out-of-towner coming in telling me this, doing that. It's just all kind of things that I've heard of and have heard of allegedly happening. So sometimes you just got to get those people out the way in this game. And that's going to be a problem, you know. So shout out to Nim Quinn, new member of the fam. Welcome aboard. Gonna have to go ahead and spread love. I got a special meeting for you, Quinn. Hold up.
Я зроблю йому пропозицію, від якої він не зможе відмовити. Ти прийшов у мій дім і просиш скоїти вбивство за гроші. Та просиш ти без поваги.
You're now part of the family with the Godfather. Okay. Celebration. Welcome to the fam. Appreciate you for coming on through. So basically, they say after Meech went to jail, Atlanta calmed down. Never would be the same because you ain't got somebody spending money like crazy, like it grow on trees. His personal assistant, Yogi, said that the BMF legacy was more about bringing families together. Said so many people didn't have a mother or a father or whatever. They was able to have family, put their kids in good schools, take care of themselves. See, we see one end. I wonder how much pain and destruction was caused, though, on the opposite end with the users. Now, you can say drugs are a crime that people commit on themselves. And I can hear that argument. I get it. Some people can also say it's an addiction, a sickness, a lot of stuff. In the end, you know, people also say drugs sell themselves. I get it. So in the end, it's a lot with that. Because, yeah, you can help all these people and do all these things, but all that money came from what community? All that money came from what group of people, you know, and hurt what group of people the most? That Lamborghini for $200,000 could have been used to build up neighborhoods and things, businesses, you know, things. But it is what it is. It's a complex thing. And I'm not to say who is right or wrong, because it is very complicated. But anyway, they said BMF was just like a melting pot. They had the Bloods, the Crips, the GDs, the Stone, all kind of different people, age groups as members, and everybody was getting money, getting along, and so, you know, that was unique. One thing Meech said is his legacy for BMF, he wants is for Little Meech to never have to go through none of the stuff he went through, and he proud that Meech is legit. You know, he wanted to be a star with the rap label and the parties, but wasn't able to do it legit. And now Shawty is able to go legit and be the star, and so that's positive, a blessing. He happy. 50 Cent was like, when he wanted to put it together, he grabbed up Lil Meech, put him in acting classes, got him ready. He said he looked just like Meech, and he just wanted to have him for the show. He had to have him, and I think he's doing a good job. I think Lil Meech did a great job on that BMF show, and I think he does have a good future as an actor. I think he does. And so, you know, 50 Cent said if it wasn't for getting him into acting, he might have followed his father's footsteps in the dope game. So at least he following it this way in acting. So we'll see. Meech did say to 50 Cent that, you know, pretty much thank you, because you kind of moved him closer to me by getting him this role and having him acting and things like that. One thing that they did is they used to go see Meech every 6 months. No, she said every 3 months since he was locked up. They would go and see Meech. And so they got a lot of pictures of Meech and Lil Meech. You know, he could barely fit in the frame back then. And then you could see him getting bigger, different things. So, you know, he came a long way. And, you know, I'm happy that he doing the right thing. Hopefully, he able to transition into a legitimate full-time actor. They say that Meech will be getting out in 2029, so that's in 7 more years. You know, Lil Meech, when he was sitting there in the interview, he said when he was growing up, most of his friends had both parents, and he was the only one at all the functions and different things with only one parent, his mom, and he used to feel left out. He didn't feel right. And I'm surprised to hear the fact that he was around people with both parents, considering his age, and you would think that wasn't as prevalent for him and his age group. When I was coming up, I think I'm the last of the old school generation. Well, I know I'm the last of the old school generation. So, you know, my parents and most of my friends' parents were married and still together. They may be arguing and things, but they were still together. You know, but as I was growing up, I started to see the difference and how that wasn't as much. So, you know, we'll see. But anyway, I like this. I enjoyed it. I think it's a good doc to watch. And now it's time for the Mosco for this. And I did do the Mosco a little different for docs. So let's get to it. All right, so as you know, the Mosco is 4 simple categories 25 points each give you a total of 100. I, for documentaries, cut out 2 categories and just rolled the points over into the other categories. So now it's just 2 categories, 50 points each. Simple. The categories that are cut out is special effects, makeup, and visuals and cinematography. So number 1 and 3 are eliminated. So let's go right into number 2, storyline and plot. This episode was very good. I did enjoy it. And overall, I did enjoy the documentary. The one thing I do see lacking is some input from Terry. But for this episode, storyline, plot, it was good. It wasn't the most interesting because it's the end of the story. And it ends with them in jail and Little Meech, on the show. So overall, I would give it a 40 out of 50. 40 out of 50. Entertainment, fun factor, very entertaining. I liked it. It wasn't as interesting as some of the other episodes. Again, it's the end of the show. Wasn't too much juice left in the orange. Let that be said, I would still give this episode a 40 for entertainment, fun factor. Bringing it to an 80 total. 80 on the Mosco for docs. Okay, so that's not the same as giving an 80 or an 8 for a movie or TV show. Because documentaries, I grade them a little differently because certain things that they don't have. They're not going to have special effects and all of that stuff. That's not what they're about. So, with that being said, and I always give a 0.5 plus or minus in either direction. So, if you think it was an 8.5 or a 7.5, I could see that point being made. You know. So, K. Leezy, you say every drug dollar made is a life lost and a family destroyed. Ain't nothing good about the adverse effects of the hype and the money. Yeah. That's that's what they say. I mean, it's a very complicated issue, so. But we all know the users are not in the best condition in life, and that what they use has something to do with it. So, with that being said, hey. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and get into the White Lotus on HBO, the finale, before we get out of here. Season 2. I really, really enjoy this show. It's over for season 2. So if you're looking for something to binge watch, this is a good show. Definitely worth watching. I believe it was only 8 episodes this season. Let's see, yep. Seven or 8. So, anyway. So what the White Lotus is a chain of luxury resorts. Okay? Season 1, they were in Hawaii. A White Lotus resort in Hawaii. And it's pretty much, the story is about the different guests at the hotel, the adventures and things they getting into, and it's kind of a thriller, a comedy. It's interesting. It's got a lot going on. You got all these different guests with these different storylines. It's like, you following. So season 1 was good. Season 2 I enjoy as well. Maybe even a little better. Now, it was a totally different cast, and they were in Italy in season 2. The only person that returned was Jennifer Coolidge, a.k.a. Stifler's mom from American Pie. She was supposed to be some rich woman that's always dealing with some type of depression things. She's all over the place with her emotions. Season 1, she was supposed to open up a spa with a woman and backed out. Broke the woman's heart. Season 2, we see she has an assistant, going through a lot with her husband, all kind of things. Her husband ends up having to leave early for a while, and she ends up meeting this group of gay guys that are well off, starts hanging out with them, get introduced to a guy that's slanging salami for her, and it seemed like everything is great, but it's something underneath that ain't right. And I was saying to somebody that they are up to something. They about to set her up. Sure enough, we find out in the finale, the guy that's been with her assistant, we already knew he was shady, and we found out the truth about him and his uncle. Now, I am being vague about some of the details that have happened during the season, so that if you want to watch, that you can watch, and I didn't spoil it for you. And as far as saying what happened in the finale, if you didn't see it, I'm going to be vague as well, so that you won't be ruined and spoiled, and that way you can watch the show. So trust me, I know what I'm doing. You in good hands, like Allstate. 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 Anyway, so, this finale, she finds out what's really kind of been going on. She has a nervous breakdown, and she just, boy, let them have it. Boy, I was so happy for her, actually. And then I saw what she did. I'm like, Tanya, don't do it. Don't do it. Take your shoes off before you go swimming. What are you? Come on. And damn, Tanya. What's up with Albie? This dude gave this hooker $50,000. I mean, what a square. And his pops was like, you gonna be that easy? You gonna be this kind of a mark your whole life? These hookers came up. They probably made damn near 60, 70 grand in a week. 80 grand off of these fools. And she bounced. We see her, Parker, her and her husband, man, they've been going through some stuff. It seemed he don't want to screw her. But then it seems she going ahead and messing up with Mr. Divergent. Ain't no telling what they did. I don't know if they really messed around or not. You all let me know. Do you think they screwed around? Let me know in the comments. I don't know. This is the assistant. She almost came up missing, boy. She lucky she must have had that good, because old boy changed his mind. It almost didn't work out for her. Almost. And this woman here, how is she able to compartmentalize everything? It's like she's able to compartmentalize every issue and get even in her own way. She finds out that her husband may be cheating, and she's like, it's okay. Wouldn't worry about it. And next thing you know, she finding ways to get even and moving on with her day. Wow. I mean, I don't know how she does it, how long that may last, but it's crazy. And this dude looked like the most miserable guy on the planet, damn near the whole show. And you got a beautiful wife, you rich, because they said that he just became very wealthy recently. So you rich, you got a beautiful wife, you young, in good shape, and you so damn uptight. Your wife trying to give you some nookie, and you know you turning it down. You on vacation. That's what you supposed to do. You supposed to have her walking through the halls bow-legged up in this piece. You know what I mean? They gonna think she was taking horseback riding lessons. You know what I mean? Sitting up here mad, trying to beat your meat on the laptop while on vacation, and you got a woman that's trying to give you some, and you talking about, nah, that's okay. Work got me stressed. Man, you tripping. Man, both of these women, they worked out. And she was a genius, because we saw that it looks like she planned everything for that 50 G's to a T perfectly. And the girl on the left, she did good too, because it seemed to me this whole thing was about women and how they can come up in ways men can't. I just really hate, damn, Tanya did so good too. Bow-legged Brenda up in this piece. Hashtag Bow-legged Brenda. That's how it's gonna be. She's gonna be walking side to side through the hallways. We on vacay. So anyway, these girls, she came up. I thought something might happen with Pops a little more than it did, especially with it being such a good actor, and F. Murray Abraham, legendary actor. I thought his role would be more significant than it was. He did a good job. It's just that, you know, he didn't have a big role. I'm talking about Pops here. So, it's all good. And also, I like how it ended right here for Mike. Because he did have a sex addiction. Okay. But he really wanted to get back with his wife. He really loved her, from what it seems. And it seems that they may have a chance in the future. So that's good. You say the husband has an STD, cheating, and doesn't want to give it to wifey. You talking about Divergent, or are you talking about the Asian guy? No, he don't have an STD. This Asian guy, he didn't sleep around. Now, it was a time where somebody had some hookers around and some things happened, but he was on better behavior than he could have been. Let's put it that way. See, you got a nice, beautiful woman that want to be with you, and you're not interested. That's something that's weird. Because she is beautiful. And then they had a couple talks about, are we still attracted to each other? How could you be at this age and not be interested? And I get it. How could you be in your 20s even if you are in your mid-20s or late 20s, how could you already be not interested in love and being compassionate? So I don't understand that either. But it looks like things may be improving for them too. So, we'll see. Before we get out of here, let me do the MOSCO for the White Lotus season finale. Alright, as we know, the MOSCO is 4 simple categories, 25 points each, give you a total of 100. You can always round it down, drop a 0, get yourself a hero, give you a score of 1 to 10. We see visual cinematography. This show has some of the most amazing visuals, cinematography, locations, and I'm gonna give it a 25 because it is beautiful. This episode had a lot to offer, from the yacht to her in the water to traveling through Europe. It was a lot to look at. Beautiful visually as a show overall. 25. Storyline and plot, it was very good. I did not see the twist coming at the end, and it looked like they may even get away with it. So I'm gonna give it a 20. I'm gonna give it a 20 for this episode. And special effects, makeup, costume, excellent. How, the ladies and different things, but it's not the greatest I ever seen, so I'd give it a 20. And entertainment, fun factor, I really, really enjoyed the show. I really liked it. I like everything about it. I really don't have any complaints about the show. I can normally pick apart things and nitpick or some stuff. Not that that's what would ruin it, but I really don't have any of that for this show. I like it. I like the characters. I like everything about it. And I'm going to give it a 20 for entertainment fun factor. Now, some people may say, you gave it a 20. Why not a 25? Well, it's not on par to some of the greatest things I've ever seen, but it is very good. Whenever I give something a top mark, that means it's on par to some of the best things I've seen. The visuals for this show, it's on par for some of the top things I've ever seen. Storyline is good, not the greatest. Overall, I give it an 85 or an 8.5. I always give a 0.5 leeway. So if you say or felt this episode was a 9 or an 8, I can see the argument for that. This episode to me was an 85. And overall for season 2 of the White Lotus, I would give it about 85 to an 87 as far as the show. I would give it an 85 to an 87. So, with that being said, I definitely recommend it. It's the type of show that you can pick up one season. It has nothing to do with the other. It's only one character returning, and although it would be nice to see what she did in season 1, it really has not too much effect on what take place in season 2. Nearly no effect. So, anyway, it had a couple twists this season with the uncle, with the prostitutes, with the hotel manager, with the husband, Tanya, the assistant. They had a few twists and turns, and I enjoyed it. I was there for it. Definitely recommend it. White Lotus on HBO. Also, before we get up out of here, HBO just released a show called Southside Season 3, based on a rent-a-center on the south side of Chicago. It's a comedy, 30-minute episodes. They got 2 episodes up now. New episode every Thursday. Very funny. And I hope y'all enjoy the show. I was supposed to have an audition for that show, but I wasn't able to, unfortunately. But I wish that I was able to, because I like the show and it would have been nice to be on there. But because of timing and other things, I wasn't able to. But I already watched the show before then, and I still support it. And I think it's something that you guys can watch. The first 2 seasons are hilarious. Hilarious. So you want to laugh your ass off? It start off slow, I give it to you. The first 2 episodes, a little slow. 3, by the time you buy in the middle, the 3rd or 4th episode, you rolling by the end. Now, the first season is a little short, so give it some time. Anyway, I'm up out of here, y'all. Definitely go check it out. Welcome to the fam, Nim Quinn. Thanks for all the support and super chat from Kay Leezy and from Savannah. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate all the family for coming through. And I'm going to have to come up with a name. Welcome to Morehouse. Welcome to the Morehouse. That's us, man. Everybody that's in the fam, they now members of the Morehouse University. Morehouse U. Anyway, appreciate y'all, man. Definitely everybody have a good weekend. I'll see y'all on the next one. Everybody be safe. Deuces.